binding energy. As we know that binding energy can be defined in two ways. As I said, this binding energy is depends on mass defect. That is, more amount of loss of mass is proportional to the energy. That is, more mass is converted into energy, then it leads to increase in binding energy. So it can be defined in two ways. One is, so you will just observe this reaction in which this is a nucleus. So you apply binding energy, so these nucleons get separated. That is what this is called as breaking of nucleus. To break the nucleus, you have to apply some amount of energy. For example, you have to apply some x, okay, kilojoules, or so the binding energy can be expressed by using two units. One is kilojoule or mega electron volt. We can express in two by using two SI units. Suppose you need x amount of energy to break this nucleus. So it is called as binding energy. So that's why we can define as the amount of energy which is required to break the nucleus into protons and neutrons. It is called as binding energy. Or we can also define as, see, so now protons and neutrons get separated. Then again, if you want the same nucleus, so these protons and neutrons recombine. So while combining, these protons and neutrons will combine and they form same nucleus. They form nucleus. During formation nucleus, they are going to liberate some amount of energy. So that energy is also called as binding energy. Binding energy is nothing but the amount of energy required to break the nucleus, or the amount of energy released during the formation of a nucleus from constituent nucleons called neutrons and protons is called as binding energy. You know the concept of stability, stable and unstable. The one which is having more stable, it is high energy. The one it is having less stable, it is less energy. You just observe here during formation of a nucleus. So suppose, okay, we are going to indicate this binding energy in terms of negative. That is, more negative energy is liberated, so the nucleus become more stable. So next we are the stability we are going to discuss in next class. So this binding energy is defined as the either amount of energy is released or amount of energy is required to break the nucleus. So it is called as binding energy. And the mathematical expression for binding energy can be derived using Einstein energy equation, that is E is equal to mc square. Here m is nothing but mass defect, and here binding energy, as I said, binding energy, more energy is released, the nucleus, okay, the energy, the force in this more, this binding energy is directly proportional to mass defect. And so this binding energy is equal to mass into velocity of light. This is called as, this is a mathematical expression for binding energy of a nucleus. So we know how to calculate mass defect. Then if you substitute the value of mass defect in this equation, you will get binding energy. Then next is binding energy per nucleon. So this is very simple. So now you have calculated binding energy. For example, now you have calculated binding energy of oxygen, for example. You know oxygen. In oxygen, you have contained 8 protons and 8 neutron which is present in an oxygen. Let us imagine Y is the binding energy of an oxygen. That is, binding energy of a nucleus of an oxygen is Y. If you divide Y by, so 8 plus 8, 16, total number of neutrons and proton. So this is called as binding energy per nucleon. So binding energy per nucleon is nothing but the average energy of a nucleon, the average energy of one proton or one neutron. So it is called as binding energy per nucleus. This binding energy per nucleus can be calculated with the help of mathematical relation, that is the total binding energy divided by n plus p, where n is the number of neutron and p is the number of proton. So we are going to solve numerical problems on this. So please remember all these mathematical expressions. These are highly useful while solving mathematical, so numerical problems. Next, stability of the nucleus. Very interesting and curious concept you all are all waiting for. Nuclear stability. You know, nucleus. So as I said in the previous classes, this nucleus. Okay, you just observe the diagram. Inside, okay, this dot is nothing nucleus, and the vast volume. The vast volume. So this is occupied by electron, and this is nucleus, and this nucleus is stable even in the presence of strong repulsive force between positively charged protons. The answer for these questions can be understood. So many factors which are going to influence on the stability of a nucleus. That is, nucleus exists, it is a fact. And meanwhile, the fundamental law of charges is also a fact. So there is a contradiction that in one way the like charges are repelling, but here the like charges are present at a very small distance, 10 to the power of minus 15 meter. Such a small distance, these protons are exist. So the answer for this question are so many factors which is affecting on the stability of the nucleus. This can, the first factor is nuclear force, second one is mass defect and binding energy, and n by p ratio, that means the neutron by proton ratio, and odd and even number of electron which is present in the nucleus. These are the four factors which are important. So with the help of these four factors, we can understand the stability of the nucleus. Some nucleus are stable and some nucleus are unstable. So these unstable nucleus are going to emit radiation, then they become stable. I already said that unstable means it has high energy. There is some strain which is present inside the nucleus. That's why it is unstable. To become stable, what happens? One nuclei or one nucleus must be converted into another nucleus. So this is called as nuclear chain. While converting one nucleus into another nucleus, in this process, it's going to emit some amount of energy. So this phenomenon is called as radioactivity. Why radioactivity takes place? Because some are emits radiations. I will discuss it later. So before that, so the stability of a nucleus is depends on four important factors, that is nuclear force, mass defect, n by p ratio, and odd and even number of nucleons which is present in the nucleus. So now let us see one by one. The first one is nuclear force. You know, the nuclear force is the strongest force in nature. So this nuclear force is responsible for holding protons and neutrons together in the nucleus. So this force is called as nuclear force. So next question is how this force arises. From where this force arises? So what are the driving force for these nuclear forces? And how these nuclear forces arises and how it hold the protons and neutrons which is together in the nucleus. So it can be explained by a Japanese chemist, scientist, who is called as Yukawa. Okay, it is also called as Yukawa's theory, or it is also called as, he proposed a new theory called partial exchange theory, or it is also called as Yukawa's theories. So with the help of Yukawa's theory, we can understand the stability of the nucleus. According to this theory, along with electrons, protons and neutrons which is present in the nucleus, some another elementary particle also which is present in the nucleus. So the elementary particle is called as meson. This meson indicated by a symbol pi. There are three kinds of meson. One is positive meson and negative meson and neutral meson particles. Pi meson, this is also called as pi mesons or mesons. So according to the partial exchange theory which is proposed by Yukawa, this Yukawa got Nobel Prize so in 1949 for this famous theory of partial exchange theory, which is strongly explains the stability of a nucleus. So according to this theory says that so along with proton and neutron, one more particle which is present in the nucleus, it is called as meson. And these meson particles are responsible. How it is responsible? You just look at the reaction. In the nucleus, what happens? The proton is converted into neutron. While converting into neutron, it emits positive meson. And at the same time, neutron is also converted into proton and it emits negative meson. Proton. So this is neutral charge and it gives positive meson. And neutral doesn't carry any charge, so that's why it gives positive proton and negative meson. So this reaction taking place continuously in the reaction, continuously in the nucleus. That means so proton interconversion of proton and neutron. So which is the continuous process which is happening in the nucleus. So the proton no longer be a proton in the nucleus. So it is converted into neutron, and this neutron no longer exists as a neutron. It is converted into proton. So because of this interconversion, what happened? The repulsive force in the nucleus is minimized. So then attraction start. Why attraction is established? What is the source for attraction? The source for attraction is the generation of these particle positive and negative meson. This positive and negative meson so create responsible for nuclear forces. So these forces hold the nucleus. Due to the constant interaction between proton and neutron, an exchange force is developed in the nucleus. So this exchange force is called as nuclear force. So greater the exchange force, so greater will be the nuclear force, and greater will be the nuclear force, and more will be the stability of the nucleus.